In the olden days, in a faraway land in present Nigeria, there lived a village who observed the traditions and customs of the land strictly. Umudike was a very prosperous village. They were known to birth strong and muscular men. Their women are known for their radiating beauty. They were strong farmers and warriors. Their warriors go out for competition and were never defeated. The name Omudike was mentioned by other villagers with respect, honor, and fear. They were a peaceful community, but do not tolerate invaders or land grabbers. Umudike's ruler, King Iheanacho, was a peaceful and a just leader. He obeyed the guidance and rules of the land and their gods. Their fathers had made every king to know and believe that their gods do not allow invading of other people's land. Umudike's warrior leader, Chief Omema, having participated in several wrestling in neighboring villages, have realized how rich they have become from invading and looting other lands. Their kings have taken up title of kings, having invaded some villages and turned their kings to slave. Chief Omema have told King Iheanacho severally of how these villagers with weak warriors have slaves who take the land and feed them, and how they have many lands and riches. King Iheanacho rebuked him, told him of how they are comfortable, hardworking, rich, and happy people who don't need to spill blood to get riches that they have no need for. Chief Omema called him a primitive king who don't want to change with time. He started his campaign of telling stories of great things he saw in other lands that Umudike is far greater than. He gained supporters who turned deaf ears to the warning of the chief priest and the gods. The king continued to reject the suggestion of Chief Omema and his plenty supporters. He insisted on following the footsteps of his ancestors. Chief Omema decided to go through his first son. His first son insisted that his father's decision is in line with the gods of the land and need not to be tampered with. It is a taboo in Umudike to commit murder. Anyone who commits murder in Umudike runs mad in the next market day, so it was never heard of. Chief Omema was advised by other warriors in other land to get rid of King Iheanacho. He thought of how to go about it. Umudike practices leadership by inheritance. The next in line after King Iheanacho was his son, whom he knew very well will not support him. The only way to move the leadership to another royal blood was to murder the entire family of King Iheanacho, and for him to do it successfully, he had to remove the big oracle of their land, Babadada, and introduce another god who will support their goals, like their neighboring village had done. Chief Omema schemed and schemed. He got support from other warriors. A night before his plans He killed the chief priest, carried the oracle out of the village, with the help of some warriors. Then early morning, before the cock crowed, he went to the king's palace, killed his guards, murdered all his family members, and made sure to look at King Ihenacho's face. He cried, reminded him of the taboo he had committed against the land. Chief Omema laughed, told him that his stupid god is long gone, and disposed into the river. King Ihenacho begged for death before Chief Omema, who was surprised at his sudden plea for death, killed him. The whole village trembled at the type of taboo they witnessed as they woke up. They called for the chief priest, whom they later realized was dead, and their oracle gone. They mourned the dead, Chief Omema, and the warriors were celebrated by the whole villagers for seeing the future, and have been warning the king, who think no enemy can penetrate the land. The villagers, but those who had earlier supported the king, became Chief Omema's strong followers, and he promised them that their revenge will be brutal. He told them that they will take lands, slaves, and riches will be theirs. Chief Omema brought in a new oracle and a new chief priest. The villagers have already agreed to follow him, though they were not comfortable, but he made them realize that their god, Baba Dada, do not protect, rather limit them, but the new god will protect them, make them wealthy and powerful. The people followed him sheepishly, out of fear for their lives. They do not want what happened to the king to happen to them. With the help of the chief priest, he appointed a new king from the king's royal bloodline. He made sure to appoint whom he could control. The land of Omudike don't spill human blood. It was a taboo in their land. Chief Omema never knew that the new oracle demands human sacrifice to fulfill requests. Chief Omema tried to bribe the chief priest. He did not plan to spill another Omudike's son and daughter's blood. The chief priest insisted, for the charms to work, to enable them win battles, he must spill blood of the sons and daughters of Omudike. Chief Omema, with his warriors, decided to kidnap 5 youths at night as a sacrifice to the gods. Omudike don't know what kidnapping means, nor heard of it. So, when 5 of their youths were missing, at first, they thought they will come back, but days passed, and they became worried. The whole villagers, including the warriors, searched and searched. When they visited the chief priest, he told them that they have been kidnapped by another village and turned into slaves. The news got the entire people of Omudike angry. They cursed their dead king, who had, for years, refused to listen to Chief Omema, and they are suffering the consequence of his choice. They prepared heavily for war and revenge. They attacked their neighboring, peaceful village, whom they had strong ties and relationship with. They dealt brutally with them, took their youths for slaves, took their lands, and murdered their warriors and kings. Chief Omema was so proud of his achievement. They hosted a big celebration. Some of their people felt bad as they looked at the faces of people they once traded with, crying and serving them. They lost 10 men during the war, and the villagers began to wonder if what they have done really worth it. A month after their victory, Chief Omema and his warriors wanted more wars enslaved. They, with the help of the chief priest, made it compulsory that every son of Umudike must be a warrior. Some Umudike's elders tried to argue, but they were threatened by the chief priest and Chief Omema. Parents watched their children as they go out for war that they might never return from. Death became a common thing in Umudike. Either a son or daughter is missing, or they were killed during the war. Chief Omema became very wealthy. He had 20 slaves, plenty livestock, bountiful harvest and gold. The chief priest became powerful and feared by the villagers. Some villagers started running away to a far, more peaceful village. Before the chief priest and Chief Omema could realize it, they had lost their numbers. Their slaves became higher than their population. They were never stolen, as the gods demand sacrifice from son or daughter of the soil, which they are not, nor sent to the war front. Some of them were sent to another house, as their master had fled the village with his entire household. The slaves were thriving and happier whenever they are at war. The killings and sacrifices started getting to Chief Omema's head. He started seeing spirits of King Ihenacho laughing at him. It followed him around. Sometimes he see the people he had sacrificed to the gods pouring blood all over him. His fellow warriors thought he was going mad. He decided to ask the chief priest for help. He told him that their spirit need to be appeased, and the only blood to appease it is the blood of his son. Chief Omema have 2 sons and 13 female children. He rejected the solution given to him by the chief priest. Rumors spread of his madness and how he constantly quarreled with the dead. The more people observed his madness, the more Umudike left the village. They remembered how their former king warned them of not going against the land. They all concluded that the land is cursed and have rejected them. The slaves started to take over household, abandoned and rejected by their owner. Chief Omema decided to sacrifice one of his sons, along with 3 Umudike's sons, to the always blood-thirsty god. A month passed, and he was not bothered. The next month, the vision started again, and now it included his son and the men he sacrificed. He could not sleep at night, nor even reason. His madness doubled. He ran away from the village to seek for solution. He went back to where they buried Babadada, dug the oracle out, carried him back to Umudike, and confessed his evil deeds. The chief priest and the remaining people of Omudike sent the chief priest and his gods packing. Chief Omema's vision did not stop. It continued. His wives ran away with his children. The slaves planned, seized the village, and the people of Omudike fled the village. Chief Omema's vision finally led to madness. All those with whom he committed the atrocities with ran mad with him. They always sit naked in the market square and busy discussing with the dead and pleading for mercy. Umudike became a slave land. It was renamed Ihelku by the Niu, who now claimed the land's riches and house of the previously wealthy and feared Umudike.